there, all members from the vinyl community, and of course all other YouTubers who are watching this video. This is Ingrid from the Netherlands again, aka Rocking Lupa. And I already made another video today with some new vinyl finds and some new CD finds. But this is the second video I will do today. And of course it has all got to do with the video I already posted some days earlier this week, in which I started a Michael Jackson 3rd anniversary thread. Because of course next Monday, so the 25th of June 2012, it will be 3 years ago that Michael Jackson passed away. And so I've started that thread, you know, also maybe you know, a little bit to remember him as an artist, and yeah, you know, just yeah, just to honor his legacy or something, you know. It's he was such an amazing artist, and he meant so much to, you know, millions of people in the entire world. So yeah, so I started that thread, and after I posted that video I noticed that I just made a little mistake, because I you know, I thought that 25th of June was today, so Saturday. So I in the video I said Saturday the 25th, but of course I meant Monday. So yeah, you know, I already shoot that video, and I already posted it, and yeah, you know, it's yeah, I didn't want to do it over again, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, still there's this Michael Jackson thread I started, and as I already said in the video I made earlier today, that it was almost a near thing that I just couldn't make this video for you today, because our entire city was out of electricity, you know, yesterday and the night before that. So we had no power at all, and I already talked about that in the former video. So, but yeah, so there was no electricity at all in the entire city. So yeah, we I just couldn't cook. The fridge and the freezer, you know, we could throw all the food, we could all throw it away, and yeah, so it's all, yeah, it wasn't very nice, but yeah, I'm glad that everything is working okay now, so yeah, that's a big relief, of course. So yeah, I'm able to do this video today, which I originally had planned to do yesterday, but you know, yesterday we had no power at all, so yeah, I have to do it today. So, but of course, well, here's my response to my own threads as well. So and actually the third question in the thread was show your Michael Jackson. Well, I think it will be better to do a separate video for that, because you know, I already collecting Michael since I was a teenager, so I think it's you know, when I will show that in this video, in the same video, it will be really a very long video. So so I think it will be better to shoot a different video for that. So the third question, show you Michael Jackson, I will respond to that myself in a different video. Okay, so I will only answer the the first two questions for you in this, in my own response to my own Michael Jackson thread. Okay? Well, yeah. Of course, you all know I'm from Holland, so English language isn't my mother language, of course, and so yeah, the best way to express myself is of course in Dutch, you know. But unfortunately, I don't think you will understand what I say when I speak in Dutch. So yeah, I will try to speak. I will try to do my best in speaking English as well, and you know, and sometimes I guess you have to read between the lines, if you know, sort of, to understand what I exactly mean, because maybe I say something and I don't know if I can really, you know, express what I really mean, if you know what I try to say. So yeah, there's always yeah, a sort of language boundaries sort of in this, yeah, so that's why I also don't do responses to threads many often, because you know, yeah, the best way again to express myself is in Dutch, if you know what I mean. So I'm always afraid that when I talk in English, I just can't say exactly what I want, if you know what I mean. So, but again, I'll try my best, okay? So I also I wrote some things down, you know, to and sort of reminders, and I will not forget. And the words I just don't know immediately in English, if you know what I mean. So yeah, well, let's start the response to my own Michael Jackson threads. Okay. Well, the very first question was when and where did you hear Michael Jackson died, and how was your reaction to that? Because you know, when many important things happen in the world's history, you know, people do often know, they still remember where they were, what they were doing at that moment. So you know, besides Michael Jackson, for example, you know, when Princess Diana, you know, from England, when she died, many millions of people all around the world, they still remember, you know, what they were doing at that moment, or which day it was, and you know, everything. So yeah, and also Michael Jackson is one of those historical figures, you know. You don't have to be a fan of him, but he is, you know, he's such an historical figure in the entire world that even if you're not a fan of Michael Jackson, you still often do know, you know, what you were doing that day, or where you were and everything. So I was very very curious for that, and yeah, I see that some people responded to my video, but of course I hope that more people will enjoy this, will join this thread, and yeah, post their responses, you know. That would be really cool. So the people who already responded to my Michael Jackson thread, thank you so much. You know, I really do appreciate it. And also, if you are really honest, you know, if you don't hide your opinion, Derek. I really appreciate your being honest with people, you know. More people should do that more often, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I really appreciate it. You know, even though it's you know, if you don't have to agree always with other people, you know, but you can, you know, being mad to people, to you know, which if they say something which you don't agree, it's so immature, you know. If you know what I say. Yeah, so yeah, of course you can have your own opinion about things, and I have mine, you know. And happily we are just not the same, you know. I think when all people would have the same opinion about things, the world would be very boring, if you know what I mean. So I really appreciate your yeah, you know, being honest with people. So yeah, responding to my own question, when and where did I hear Michael Jackson died, and what's your reaction? I really do remember that moment so very well, you know. So it was June 25th, 2009. It was on a Thursday. I still remember that very well, because the next day, Friday, we had a sort of, yeah, they call it a family party on the school of my daughter. She's now 7 years old, but yeah, 3 years ago, so she was quite younger then also, you know. And they had a sort of, yeah, a party on their school. You know, they have a lot of games for the children, and they do very nice things. But so that was the Friday. It was the day after the passing of Michael, and yeah, of course they had they played music on that party, and you know, and of course they also played, you know, Michael Jackson. And it really, you know, it almost gave me the shivers, you know, hearing that music that day, you know. Yeah, I think you know what I mean. So, but yeah, so the day before, so the Thursday, of course there's a difference in time between Holland and the USA. So it was in the evening here, so I guess in the USA I think it must have been maybe somewhere in the afternoon or something, I guess. But so here in the Netherlands it was evening, and actually I was yeah, I was doing some things on the internet. And the television was playing behind me, and there was because other people, you know, family, they watched the TV, and I was you know, surfing on the internet. But and they were watching a sort of yeah, sports TV show, you know. They were talking about football and everything. So, but suddenly there was a news break that they said that Michael Jackson was he was with the you know, they brought him with the ambulance to the hospital because of a heart attack. And you know, immediately I just knew it was wrong, you know, because yeah, many times there was news about Michael Jackson, and you know, mostly those stories just were not true, you know. There were only rumors or something. But this time when they said Michael Jackson, they took him to the hospital, and I just knew it was different this time. You know, you just feel that. I don't know, maybe it's your sixth sense. You know, I don't know if you can call it that. I am just very yeah, maybe more sensitive to those kind of things, you know, more attuned to those kind of situations. And you know, so they interrupted that TV show, and they said they brought the news about Michael, and yeah, and in some kind of way I just knew, yeah, I just felt, I almost felt that Michael was preparing himself to yeah, leave this world, kind of, you know. And maybe it sounds a little bit strange, and when I tell this, I'm sure many people will think I'm just a lunatic or something like that. But you know, I just don't do those things normally. I really don't. I'm just not that kind of person, believe me. But as soon as I heard, you know, the situation about Michael, I just put some yeah, wax candles, and I turned on the candles, you know. I lighted them with, you know, again, there's boundaries in the language, but I'm sure you will know what I mean. So, so I lighted those candles, and just to, you know, at least I just thought that when, you know, Michael, when it's really your time to go now, at least you don't have to be alone, you know. So yeah, I just feel really connected with him, you know. And you know, and maybe I'm wrong, to be honest, but in fact I already had the feeling that he was already dead at the moment when they called the ambulance at the house, when he you know, was out of conscience. So I think that when they brought him to the hospital, Michael already was gone. I don't know if it's right what I say, but I have the feeling that he was already gone then. So yeah, you know, and Steffi, thank you also for your reply, your response to my Michael Jackson thread, and I really appreciate you, all the things you said. And yeah, I know that, you know, we're just all visitors, kind of, in this on this planet Earth, you know. So we all people are only temporarily here, and yeah, we all leave one day, you know. So, but you know, of course, when someone dies, you just care about very much, if you know what I mean. You don't put that aside very easily as you know, okay, we're all visitors and it's a part of life. you know, and everything. But you know, I really felt that I really felt very bad when the news came Michael Jackson died, you know, because yeah, I already follow him since my teenage years, so I sort of felt very connected with him, because yeah, he was actually my very first musical experience, you know, and he was very important to me. And so when Michael passed away, it almost felt like I lost a relative, you know. I don't know how to explain, and again, many people would consider me maybe as a lunatic or something, and also with burning those wax candles. Really, again, I just don't do those things normally, but I just felt I had to do it. You know, when I heard the news about Michael, so I felt I had to do that way. It felt good to me, so yeah, it's the most important thing, I guess, you know. And yes, as I already said, Michael Jackson was actually, so his album Thriller, it was really my, yeah, actually my first musical experience, you know. It was, I think, 1982, 1983. So I'm from 1971, so you can, you know, I was about 11 years old then, 12 years old. So it was very early in my teenage years. So and of course, you know, when I was younger, I listened to other music, but yeah, very often my parents bought me a 7-inch or something like that. But yeah, the Thriller album, so by Michael Jackson, was really actually the very first record I just really wanted to have, you know, myself, because yeah, I think yeah, I was really impressed by the music, and also of course the artists and the video clips, you know. Yeah, I'm from the MTV generation, you know, you could say. And of course MTV was a very different channel from what it is now, you know. I often see very much sitcoms and for teenagers now these days, but in the 80s, of course, MTV was a real music channel, you know. The MTV also means music television, you know, for the new generation who just don't know that yet. But so yeah, MTV was new, and also the broadcasting video clips was a very new thing at that time, you know. Yeah, I'm from the generation of you know, in the 70s we had a music TV show here in the Netherlands, which was called Top Up. And I'm sure very much Dutch viewers will know what I talk about. And yeah, the Top Up was hosted by a real, you know, yeah, by a host, someone who, yeah, yeah, you know, it was a, yeah, his name was Ad Visser, Ad Visser, and so he hosted that show, but in there were no video clips at that time. So the artists or the bands, they performed in the studio, you know, for real. And but you know, when MTV came up, yeah, video clips were more coming up, you know. And I think that yeah, Michael Jackson was one of the very first artists who you know, made video clips like sort of small yeah, movies, actually, you know, sort of mini movies. And we just didn't know those kind of video clips then yet. And Michael was really one of the first artists who did those kind of videos. So yeah, and so yeah, of course, also yeah, and Thriller was of course a huge yeah, it was sold, I think it's one of the most sold albums in the entire world, and it still is, I think. And so it had a real big impact, you know, and especially to young teenagers as I was then. So yeah, you know, I can imagine the opinion from Derek that you know, Thriller, of course, it was a very commercial record, and but yeah, I think that also the difference in you know, having an opinion about that music also really maybe has got to do something you know, with you know, a different in generation. I'm sorry, Derek. Yeah, you know, I just of course you are a few years older than I am, so I also think that has got to do with you know, growing up with a different kind of music and different kind of musical influences. You know, I was a teenager in the 80s, so I grew up with you know, the really 80s, the synth pop, you know, like Depeche Mode, for example, and there were really a lot of other very popular artists, you know, Duran Duran, for example. Yeah, I could let's name a few. Yeah, I just don't come up to it right now. Tears for Fears, you know, and all those yeah, really 80s, real 80s pop. And so yesterday I for example, I just played a record by Howard Jones. You know, he had a big hit in 1983 or 1984, which was called What Is Love? Well, you know, it was a huge hit. And when I listen to it right now, you know, and now these days, yeah, of course I can consider it as a sort of commercial you know, typed music, but you know, that music were my very first musical experiences. So when I hear music from the 80s, you know, it's a kind of yeah, sentimental journey, I guess, you know. and so it's a sort of nostalgia, if you know what I mean. And also, and especially because Michael Jackson is really, it's really the first record I bought, and so yeah, to be honest, Thriller is still one of my favorite MJ albums. So yeah, and of course, when I began, you know, being a fan of Michael Jackson, I had an older cousin, and he was already a Michael Jackson fan since his very young years, and so he discovered that I like Michael Jackson. So he said, "Oh well, I have a lot of records, you know, Jackson 5 and everything, and you can record that on tape." You know, so yeah, you know, these days we do illegal downloads, but in those days we, you know, recorded it on tape. So it's always been there, you know, don't fool yourself. And I guess taping music just didn't kill the music at all. No, I just don't believe that that's really true, but that's another discussion. So my cousin, he recorded some Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 records for me, you know, on those little cassettes, and so and I just you know, I just learned more music from Michael and Jackson 5 and everything, and so I also consider Off the Wall. It's a huge album, you know, one of the best Michael Jackson albums, and so yeah, you know, it's Michael has always been kind of special to me, you know, even if I'm a grown up now, you know, yeah, of course I'm not you know, I don't think I'm acting like I'm not acting the same as a fan as I did in my teenage years, you know. But yeah, even as a grown-up, I just still think that Michael Jackson is really special to me. So yeah, and yeah, so Steffi, you already said it, and that's true, that Michael Jackson really represented that you know, that sunlight for me. You know, so sort of. So yeah, yeah, and you know, so next Monday, Michael Jackson, he's 3 years gone now, and but you know, I can still sometimes I still, when I hear his music, or when I see some videos or something, I just sometimes really feel sort of lump in my throat, you know. Sort of, yeah, I just can't help that. It's yeah, it's the way I just feel really connected with MJ, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and yeah, and also you know, Michael may be in a different space or reality now, maybe, if there really is an afterlife after death, you know. And when that's so, I think you know, Michael will be I think he really found the peace he was looking for his entire life. So yeah, I think he's in a better place now in the end, you know. And yeah, I really think he has peace now. Yeah, so yeah, and again, Derek, I really appreciate your being honest with people, and you really say what you think. And but again, yeah, my taste in music, yeah, people may consider it as commercial, you know, or maybe also as a maybe a wrong kind of taste or whatever. But you know, it's my music, you know, and I carry that music along with me all my life, I guess. And you know, because again, it's my sentimental journey, you know. I already told you about you know, growing up in the 80s and everything. So yeah, so I just grew up with that kind of music. So I guess that kind of music will always be kind of yeah, special to me in certain ways. And actually I think I have a very wide taste in music. You know, the things I show here in the VC are just not the half of all my collection, which I didn't show you yet at all. You know, I have many different styles in music, and yeah, there might be also a lot of commercial music in it, but I'm sure there is also music in my collection which you know, many people just don't know yet, maybe. So yeah, yeah, so I have a different yeah, kind of taste in music, but it doesn't automatically say that it's also a wrong taste in music, I think. You know, it's and to be honest, I just really don't really care about what other people say about my taste in music. You know, it's as far as I like that music, you know, that's the most important thing, I guess. And because I have to listen to it, you know. So yeah, even though some people may think that my taste in music is commercial or cheesy or whatever, you know, it's I just don't really care, because you know, I'm just not gonna change my taste in music for anybody. Or I also don't hide it, you know. I like what I like, and yeah, that's the way it is, I guess. You know, and yeah, so the second question, I see I have, yeah, the video is very long now, so I think I will answer question 2 or also in a separate video. Okay? I will leave you now, and I'll be back soon with my response to my MJ thread in the second part. Okay? See you soon!